We're about a minute away from mock draft number 3. We're doing a 12-teamer. Looks like just Chris and I are the only two bodies in the room. I got excited because there was somebody else in here, and then they left. That was a bummer. But they're picking 8th. I'm picking 11th, so we'll slow down that back end a little bit.
Is this the the draft where I'll be able to get
build the team the way you want to build it?
Yeah, probably not. It's too early.
And yeah, St. Louis may have chartered a jet for Jim Montgomery. That might have been like when Metallica replaced Dave Mustaine as the lead guitarist with Kirk Hammett. Dave Mustaine got a bus ticket on a Greyhound across the country, and Kirk Hammett got flown in on out of San Francisco. Probably similar situation there with Jim Montgomery.
I just want to know how that conversation went at one point. Just like, hey man, it's really not you. It's just this is the guy we wanted, and he's here. So just come on over. That was a tough one. But I can understand why having Jim Montgomery there is a good thing. There are lots of positives for Seattle. I mean, look.
Listen, Doug Armstrong doesn't mess around. Doug Armstrong does what he has to do. We got the draft has already kicked off here. Nate McKinnon going first, Matthew Tkachuk second, Connor Hellebuck third. And this is why we don't love ESPN, but we think we could get McDavid fourth, Pastrnak fifth, Austin Matthews sixth, Brady Tkachuk seventh. I think Chris has got to do it here, right? Is it Leon or Makar? There we go. He takes his
about time.
Jake Ottinger goes. Nikita Kucherov goes. Am I really getting Leon Draisaitl at 11th overall?
I love these midsummer drafts because it's so much fun.
There goes Forsberg and Panarin. I mean, wow. Do I go Nylander? Do I go Draisaitl Nylander build here? I mean, or do I take Mr. Kaprizov and break your heart?
You don't want to do that because there's so much talent ahead of them.
Fine,
you can if you want.
No, I'll take Nylander. That's the right pick there. There goes Celebrini. It's a little high, I think. Second round, Vasilevsky. We know who you're taking. You're getting to do your dream.
Listen, I spoke it into existence. I'm so happy. This is what an elite start to a draft would look like.
Now, just remember, I could have been a real.
You could have. Yes, and to be fair, this probably doesn't happen in a lot of our drafts that we're going to be in. But if I'm assuming that the people that I'm drafting with are not listening to this, are not checking in often. So,
and I'm back on the clock. You can
I am
directions here.
I could, but I'm probably gonna go down this path. Again, I'm gonna take a defenseman here. I'm gonna go with Dahlin here.
That's your boy.
Right. I think third round Dahlin is pretty good. There is another player that I wanted. But I'm gonna wait here.
So there's enough defensemen that I feel like I can wait for the turn and get me a little Braden Point here as my third forward. And then there goes Crosby and Stützle. So yes, I can wait on a defense and I still get a top center there. Question is, am I going Bouchard, Werenski, Hedman, Quinn Hughes?
There are so many good defensemen still. This is your fourth pick, and look at the studs.
I mean, Quinn Hughes is the pick here, but man, Werenski had a really good year, and I could see him doing that again. It's tough to. I'm going to take. I'll stack Bouchard and Draisaitl for power play potential there. Yeah. All right, so then there goes Darcy Kemper, so I don't get my boy. Adrian Kempe goes. Chris back on the clock here. I'm assuming he's going to take a defenseman, probably one of the ones I talked about, because he loves to have his cornerstone group.
The problem is I know if I take this defenseman, I'm not getting the forward that I want.
I think you got to go forward here with the long turn.
No, I got to go with Werenski.
All right,
there's too many goals there to pass up. But he will get picked. It was Tage Thompson.
I knew it was Tage Thompson. Yeah, I knew that. I was trying to maybe get you because I know if you didn't take him, there was a chance maybe him or Hughes.
I knew somebody then was going to take Zach Werenski. That is just
Chris back on the clock here. So there goes Matt Boldy. There goes your other guy you like.
Oh God.
I mean, right here you got a Marner, you got a Scheifele, Wyatt Johnston. There's some options if you want to go forward.
I can't ignore him though. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, are you really going to go? Is you going to take your fourth defenseman? Fourth defenseman
Yes.
here? When Hughes, he's still there. I was trying to hope that. See, the problem is I wanted one of those guys to get back to me, and now none of them have gotten back to me. So listen, Mitch Marner's still sitting there. I got to take him.
That's fair. In hindsight, maybe I don't take Dahlin and I take somebody else, but
That's probably
Dahlin does so many good things. I don't regret that though. I will say that I don't regret it.
So, looking at the defensive group here, I feel like I want to take one. Might be a little. I got to look at goalie too. I haven't done that yet. Oh, screw it. I'm going defense, and I'll take Thomas Harley. It's a little early for him, but
That's still a good pick.
he's the top defenseman on one of the top teams in the league, and I really want to make sure I have that second defenseman locked in. There goes Jesper Bratt and Dylan Larkin. Another defenseman I considered there that maybe I get on the way back.
I'm gonna do it. I mean, it's hard to pass up point per game talent at this point. I'm talking about Nick Suzuki. Listen, I know I went with Kirill, and then now it's Nick. It's been a minute.
Bratt was the best available, and then he went right after my Thomas Harley pick there early in the 6th round. We are now in the 7th round. Anthony Stolars goes with the 2nd pick. Sebastian Aho, Mika Zibanejad. There goes Matvei Mishkov. Probably a little late. Probably slept on him a little bit there, especially in a league where you get goal scoring has value. Ilya Sorokin and Nico Hischier go.
Those were the two guys I was also looking at, which I will not get a piece of.
I love Nico Hischier. Love him, love him, love him. I don't say that about Devils much, but
I probably do need a goalie here. This probably changes as like the year moves on, but Mackenzie Blackwood still being there seems like really good value.
See, I was taking him if you didn't. And what I'm going to do here is to help round out my blue line a little bit, maybe get some value on a bounce back from Adam Fox.
Oh, my God. Of course, Adam Fox.
Now, at a certain point, I got to look at the goalies. I don't think I can wait anymore. I'm a little scared of Logan Thompson, but I think I got to take him here, no? I'm going to grab a goalie at this point.
You could. You could also grab Sam Montembeault.
Could. All right. Before I wait, I'm going to take Logan Thompson. I'm not going to wait anymore. There goes Lucas Raymond. Which now, when we talked about our goalie handcuffs, which we talked about last week, Charlie Lindgren now becomes vital for me to get.
He does. Just absolute full stack Minnesota here. Joel Eriksson can come over as well.
And you know what you're getting with him. That's never a bad pick if it's not too early.
I hope Minnesota goes down the Colorado path, which is just playing their top studs like 25 minutes a night.
There goes Barkov, round 9 pick 2. That's a pretty good value pick there.
It's crazy. That's absolutely just blasphemous.
There goes Sergachev, so that removes my potential temptation to take him there instead of a forward.
So since this is a 12-team league, I need to figure out my goaltending situation before it doesn't
rise up.
Right. So I don't love it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Sam Montembeault here.
All right. So I'm feeling you on the goalies. I agree, but I'm going to go a different direction here. We talked about this guy earlier having a big impact in Utah. I take JJ Peterka there, round 9, pick 11.
You have been listening.
Now listen, we both talk on this. We both talk. We both listen. I'm back on the clock. So listen, I could go goaltender here. I'm going to roll the dice and hope I can get Mr. Lindgren on the way back. I could look at the blue line here, but another guy I'm going to try and jump on because he probably won't be available when he gets back to me is Mr. Nikolai Ehlers, round 10, pick 2. So loving my forward group here. Draisaitl, Nylander, Point, Marner, Peterka, Ehlers here. So I got a good group there. I'm happy with my blue line. Bouchard, Harley, Fox. Goalie might be a little risky here for me. Chris back on the clock. Brandon Montour and Mike Matheson were the 2 picks between us.
This one was an easy one for me. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but he won't be here like as we get on. But I mean, I have built just an absolute juggernaut of a defense. This isn't how I thought it was going to go, but I'm not disappointed that this is how it went, if it makes sense.
Now, let me throw this at you. The Minnesota, now that the Wild are your adopted team, Brock Faber, we thought was going to be the guy last year, run the power play, all that. Did fine. Steve Boyum's going to be the guy that runs the power play now. Are you avoiding Faber as a result of that, knowing that Boyum's probably going to be the power play guy all year? Or you can make your pick first and then answer. But
I wouldn't say I'm going to avoid him just because like Minnesota's like Boyum's a young kid as well. So I think they'll turn to I think they'll turn back to him at some point. I'm going to take here. I need some scoring, so I'm hoping Matthew Nyes lives up to his, I don't know, potential, if you want to call it that.
all right, I'm going to do something a little. Hopefully, this works out for me. But I'm going to try and solidify my goaltending here. First, I'm going to grab Mr. Jacob Markstrom because he's going to get wins with the Devils when he plays. And then we talked about the importance of if I'm going to invest in Logan Thompson, I got to have Charlie Lindgren. Boom, goalie situation settled. Now I don't think I passed on anybody a forward or a defenseman that can hurt me, but now I know my goalies are set. I don't have to look at them. Yes, we talked about Jake Allen being an important handcuff to Markstrom, but I don't think I'm going to have both handcuffs there. I don't think I'm going to have Markstrom and the Devils and the Capitals there. If I'm going to choose to do one, I was already kind of committed to the Capitals there. I'd rather do that one.
That's actually quite fair. I'm gonna go here with Robert Thomas just because I know he's not going to score, but you did say that he's going to rack up assists. So
That's
I
what he
feel like
does.
right, and I'll deal with the goals later, right? But I think I'll be okay here.
Now, me waiting at defense, at defenseman might hurt me a little bit here as you're starting to see a run on them. There goes Pionk. There goes Nurse. There goes Parayko. Let's see here. Chris back on the clock.
Well, listen, he re-signed there, and someone's got to get like they gave him money, and they said, "Hey, welcome back." And as terrible of a year as they may have, someone's going to have to score goals in Vancouver, and I'm going to guess it's Brock Besser. So
Yeah, at this point, when you're in round 13, I'm fine with that. And I like. I've thought about him a couple of times prior, so not the worst move in the world there. Listen, I've been taking this guy in almost every draft just to ride Cale Makar's coattails. Give me Devin Taves. Take that as a fourth defenseman. There goes Dougie Hamilton, Fabian Zetterlund, and I'm back on the clock just like that. I could go D here. There's no forwards I'm looking to really jump on. You know what? I'd rather shore up my blue line here and get a Shea Theodore, get a piece of that Vegas blue line. He's going to be running the top power play. So, or at least my blue line's in good shape now. In the last 4 rounds, I've totally shored up my back end here, the goalies and the defensemen.
I'll take another forward because I need players who can find the back of the net. He will be on the top unit in Colorado. So we're going to take Valerie Nichushkin because we need it. I need someone to find the back of the net or at least rack up some points.
Yeah, they're getting to that point in the draft now where you kind of got to like find the 20 goal scorers that you like, 25 goal scorers that maybe have a chance to do a little bit better, because that's where we're at. We're looking at, Will Smith, one of those guys, round 15, pick 2. He goes. Chris back on the clock here. Since then, Riley, Forsling, Omar, Jake Wallman, Tristan Jarry. Jake Wallman could be a sneaky pick there in Edmonton. We're going to be running the second power play unit, and should have at least better plus minus. I know it's not an official. We don't use that stat here on THM, but most leagues do. It's going to be better than it was last year because he spent the bulk of the season in San Jose. So there goes Noah Hannafin, Alex Lafreniere. We're at 15th round for Alex Lafreniere. Crazy.
Maybe this is the year he gets some power play time. Please.
When in doubt, I like to look for power play points late here. I got to make a decision. You know what? Mikael Granlund. I'm going to take William Eklund here. He's going to be in that Sharks top 6. I like to have one Shark on my team. And if you play in a banger league, he gives you some of those other pieces too. So now I'm back on the clock here, round 16 of 22. I mean, listen, he's playing on the Blues top line. He's going to be the recipient of a lot of those Robert Thomas assists. Give me Pavel Buchnevich. Listen, they're my team. I got to be represented by them somehow.
This might feel a little bit early, but it's never. I mean, what are we, round
16? No.
16? Maybe I could wait a little bit, but I'm going to take the future Rookie of the Year winner here. That'll solve a lot of problems.
And there it is, folks. At 4703 mark, he makes his Ivan Demidov Rookie of the Year comment, which, hey, that could be sponsored if somebody wants to get on that because it gets mentioned every week. Keandre Miller, end of round 16. That could be a sneaky pick. All right, here we go.
I'm back here.
Chris,
I've watched his name go by like a couple of times, and I feel like maybe it's like, did Barzal die? Like, I feel like he may not be the player he like in his rookie year, but I don't know. We're in round 17. Like, there's got to be some offense left in Barzal if he's healthy. So,
and he's projected to play on the second line with Anders Lee. So I mean, listen, that's a pretty good running mate there. So there goes. Let's see here. After Barzal, there's Leakins goes. I'm going to close out or get ready to close out round 17 here. Could go forward, but I feel like defensemen are going to start to dry up soon and quickly here. And hey, you know what? You talked about this guy earlier. Give me a little Cam Fowler as my bench defenseman. He's listed as utility, but he'll get bumped down at some point. There goes Ryan Donato, Adam Larson. I'm back on the clock here. And at this point in the draft, I think there's no real you get the guys you want, even if you feel like maybe it's a tiny bit of a reach. But listen, Quentin Byfield in the early part of the 18th round is not a reach. And there goes Brandt Clark, who could have a big year for the Kings.
I'm going to solidify my goaltending, right? We talked about him earlier. I just think hindsight, I probably do it a little bit differently. But I mean, Vejmelka, if we think that Utah is going to be good, it's unfortunate that he's going to have to go up and play some, he's just going to have to play tough games against tough teams. But he is a clear starter. So I'll take that.
And there goes Nugent Hopkins, who I thought about, but I'm like, I already got Draisaitl on Bouchard. I don't like, too many of the same team if I can avoid it. And there we go. There goes your boy Slavkovsky. John Gibson's going to start in Detroit. Matthias Michelli, trying to maybe get some hotel riding points there off of Matthews and Nyes. Troy Terry, Matthias Ekholm, Joseph Wall, and Alex Vlasic. Here we go.
I made my pick, and then I looked, and I was like, oh, yes, because I forgot this is ESPN. This is who I should have taken probably over Vejmelka, but I'll take 4 goalies because it's a 12-team league, and you can never have too many because once you get into this range, the waiver wire doesn't have much. Jack Reeves.
And there goes Patrick Kane, who I was thinking about taking at that strip point of the draft. I don't want to go goalie there, but you're kind of talking me into taking carrying a 4th goalie. But I need to have another forward here. I don't know. I'm a little shy on Sean Monahan having a year like he had last year. You know what? Give me Alexi Protas. He had 30 goals last year. Why not? Get a part of the Capitals there. I'm back on the clock. Let's see here. I could do a Jake Allen handcuff. I could look at Yaroslav Askarov, but that's more picking with my heart than picking with my brains. I mean, Jeremy Swayman, 20th round. I'll take that. Maybe he has a resurgence. Maybe he gets traded.
I have no problem with taking Sean Monahan, so I'll draft him, assuming he stays healthy.
All right, there you go. So we're approaching the last couple of rounds here in our 3rd mock draft of the summer here on Total Hockey Now. Appreciate everybody that's watching, either live or later on. There we go as we enter round 21 here. Guys moving. There goes Jake Neighbors with the 5th pick, Jackson Blake with the 6th, Tyler Bertuzzi with the 7th. Chris back on the clock here, looking at his roster, thinking he's going to probably grab another defenseman at some point here with one of these last 2 picks.
I do, but it's not going to be at this pick. I mean, maybe this is the year. I'll take Cole Perfetti here.
It's a lot of maybe this is the year for him, but we'll see. Now, I'm definitely going to go forward here, but this is where you got to scroll through and see if you could try and get somebody that's going to maybe bounce back. I don't love my options here as we get into 10 seconds. Listen, in a league where shorthanded points matter, take a little Arturi Lehkonen.
Oh, that's fair.
Now I'm back on the clock for my last pick: Asa Lindell, Matt Roygo. Are there any defensemen that I want to? Because defensemen are tougher to grab off waivers at forwards and contribute. I mean, listen, I know it's the Kraken, but Vince Dunn's going to be on the top pairing, top power play unit. Yeah, why not? Let's grab you a little Vince Dunn. There we go. We'll go through my recap in a minute here as Chris makes his last pick. So
I'm gonna go with the full Minnesota Wild top power play 3-man stack at this point. Why not?
Yeah, listen, with the last pick, why not? And there goes Ryan Hartman. So back-to-back Wild picks there. So Chetkov goes, Tyler Seguin, Justin Falk, William Karlsson, Ivan Barbashev, and Bobby McMahon. So there we go. Let's take a look at my team here on the left first. Let's take a look. Roster round view. All right, perfect. So let's start here. Again, I had my spot where I like to pick on the turn there. Leon Draisaitl. I'm curious if this is going to have the same. I doubt he's going to fall the same way in Yahoo mock drafts, but man, to get him at pick 11, sure. To pair him with William Nylander on the turn, great. Especially in a footwear league where it's not center, left wing, right wing. ESPN is forward defense, sure. Braden Point, it was kind of a value pick there. If he's still sitting there in the end of the third round, I'm happy with my forward group. I grab Evan Bouchard, one of the top fantasy defensemen this year. Mitch Marner, again, I'm really happy with my team. Maybe a little bit of a reach on Harley there, but that's fine because no defensemen get picked until I go and get Adam Fox again. So no foul there. Again, I don't love Logan Thompson. I'm not I think the Capitals take a step back this year, but I mean, 8th round, the way goalies are, like you said, 12-team league, got to do it. JJ Peterka, Nikolai Ehlers, they're good middle forwards for this roster here, behind Marner. And then, I get the handcuff with Lindgren. I focus on the blue line with Devin Taves and Shea Theodore there. The guys I'm not disappointed to have is my 4th and 5th defenseman. Then I got Cam Fowler as a bench defenseman as well there. Very happy with that. In these middle rounds, 15 and 16, you see a lot of the names there. It's kind of just either whatever falls to you or that's the beginning of where you go and get your guys before they're gone. I like being in the Blues top, having a share of the Blues top line there. William Eklund, a little bit of a selfish pick, somebody to root for when I'm watching the Sharks. And then, Byfield, I think, took a lot of steps forward last year. No reason to wait any longer on him there at 18-2. Protests, sure. Top line on the Capitals. Again, going to probably be relied on the score a little bit more this year, especially we can't expect Ovechkin to score at the same clip he did last year. And my last few picks, Swayman, Lehkonen, Dunn. Try to maximize your bench there.
That's a very well-rounded roster, I would say.
There's no real weakness. One of the summer.
It's very well-rounded. There's no real hole to it. It's very well built.
I'm a tough out.
Yeah.
Now
I can see. Yeah, as somebody who won the inaugural Total Hockey Now fantasy league, I could say that sounds correct.
We take a look at your squad here. I mean, I feel like it's very tough for you to be disappointed because you got your dream build there.
Literally all gas, no brakes here. Cale Makar, Kirill Kaprizov off the rip. You can't do it any different. Rasmus Dahlin is fine. Hindsight is because I didn't think I was gonna all those. I have 4 defensemen of the first 5 picks. Now that's not how I drew it up, but this is a good lesson to anybody who's doing fantasy hockey drafts, right? Because we're all going to do them at some point. It's not about what your plan is. It's about the value that you find when it's your pick. There's no way I was willing to pass up on Werenski in the 4th round in a 12-team league when he contributed 20-plus goals last year. And there's no way I was going to pass up on Quinn Hughes, who could be a point-per-game defenseman. I can't pass that value up. It doesn't matter what else was in that round. It doesn't matter what else I wanted to do. I probably would have wanted to grab a goalie here. I probably would have wanted maybe to add another, top end goal scorer, but I got the value that was presented and it is upside. At worst, I'll trade one of these defensemen, right? In a real life situation, in a real Fantasy Hockey League, you can trade with others. If I have all the goods, it means somebody else is poor. Somebody is literally poor. They don't have a top defenseman. I could extort them later on. So that was a great start. I took Nick Suzuki right because I needed some offense here to pair with Kirill Kaprizov. I think that Suzuki could be a point per game player. I needed a goalie because now we're too late. So Mackenzie Blackwood is breathing. He is going to play in Colorado. Why not? Joel Eriksson Ek, because why not pair him with Kirill Kaprizov? If those two get injured, though, I mean, I can call it a day, move on. Sam Montembeault, I think the Montreal Canadiens take a step. If they do, he is part of it. Lane Hudson, again, I couldn't wait on a defenseman who had 60-plus points last year. Even if he takes a step back and he has 55, that's still really, really good for a defenseman. So I'm not going to pass that up. Now I needed to kind of fill in my forwards here. So Matthew Knies, top line winger. Robert Thomas, top line center. Brock Besser, top line winger. I'm going with guys we're going to see a ton of opportunity on the top line, either 5-on-5 or on the power play. That's what I'm looking for. Valery Nichushkin is a guy who's going to play on the power play. We know Colorado can really finish on that power play. Alexi Lafreniere, I'm just dreaming here. Maybe at some point he'll get some power play time.
The 15th round for a guy like that.
15th round is not bad. I think if he gets some power play time and he starts to explode, right? I know he's a former first overall pick. He hasn't been exactly where he needs, but I think he can be a 70-point player. It's a matter of opportunity and consistency here. The Rangers are a good team, so I mean he can contribute. Ivan Demidov, I mean it's hard to pass on the guy who's going to win Rookie of the Year. Matthew Barzal is the upside. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. I don't know what I'm going to get from the Islanders, but he has had success before. I'll take it again. Karel Vejmelka, hindsight, if I had done my research correctly, I see Jet Greaves and I take him instead. The reason I didn't want Vejmelka is because I don't he has to play in the gauntlet that is the Central, right? That is just even if you're taking one of those top end goalies, right? Is it the same thing? I took Mackenzie Blackwood, which I can live with, but now I have two goalies, right? Those two goalies in the Central. That's just a beating. It's a beating to have to play them. Ideally, I get one goalie from the East, one goalie from the West. I try to get them on a team that has a easy division, right? Looking at the Pacific, that's where I'm trying to a guy like Aiden Hill or something that perfect because you're going to get a lot of bottom feeder teams that you get to play a lot. That's not how it goes. Sean Monahan, I know you had reserves. I didn't, as long as he can stay healthy. Cole Perfetti, top 6 role this year, hopefully. And then William I'm just completing the power play stack here in Minnesota. So,
now,
big Minnesota Wild fan with this one.
Going back to my draft for a minute, if there was one area that maybe okay, maybe I could have played it a little bit differently, but it ended up working out because my blue line of Bouchard, Harley, Fox, Taves, Theodorus, nothing to sneeze at. I would have hated to pass on Braden Point, but I probably could have grabbed Werenski there. And then, instead of grabbing Bouchard, I would have gotten maybe a Kempe or Reinhardt if, Point's still there. Maybe one of those guys takes him instead, and then a Reinhardt or a Kempe fall to me. Maybe that's one area where I could have maybe played it a little bit better, but it's really tough to say no to Braden Point at the end of the 3rd round.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to say no to certain, you're looking for maximum upside. If let's say you take Werenski, then I'm probably not taking Quinn Hughes there because I'm it's fine. I don't, not that Quinn Hughes isn't good. He's not scoring 23 goals. He's not Zach Werenski. So maybe I take Matt Boldy in that sense, or same thing, Adrian Kempe, Sam Reinhart. So maybe you save me from having 4 Minnesota Wilds.
Sure.
But it's all about looking for value. That's how you draft. We are still early into this. Find the value and then you deal with it later. Don't forget, fantasy hockey is a pie. That the pie doesn't get bigger or smaller. If you corner the market of the pie, it means everybody else is looking. And that's where you start your extortion. That's when you become a good GM and you start, twisting some arms, saying, hey, this is what I want. I have a lot of friends who say I am the worst fantasy GM because I overvalue some of my players too much. Little do they know.
To fall in love with them.
It's not about falling in love with them. I know the price that I'm willing to move. Every player on my team is movable. It's just a question of whether you want to pay the price or not. And if you don't want to pay the price, no harm, no foul. We keep going. And sometimes these trades work out because I target the manager who I know didn't have a great draft in that one area. And then I explored him a little bit.